Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Bad Flick Show. I am your host, Alex Shoemaker. Thank you for joining us on this Fat Tuesday. You could be in New Orleans celebrating it up, but you're cozy at home, most likely, watching some bad movie clips with us. We appreciate it. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, this is the Bad Flick Show. The way the show works is I pull some of the worst clips from the worst movies and then show them to my comedian friends. We discuss them, we talk about them, we see if mathematically, if pi is involved, if it can be divided or multiplied by it. Usually it's no. I don't think we've gotten one clip yet, but we're still working on it for all you mathematicians out there. So, along with this show, you can comment. We've already seen some comments down below. Feel free to be a part of the show. You know, and these clips are not just for us; they're for everybody. And also feel free to share it. Bring more people in and enjoy it together. It's the Bad Flick Show. It's all about family and all all that jazz. So, okay, enough of my rambling. I want to bring in our guest here. We have a couple of Comedy Spot favorites. We got Mike and Michelle, and we also have very fantastic improviser, as well as the co-founder of my favorite comedy festival, the SF Sketch Fest, Cole Stratton as well. Welcome, everybody.
Hello.
Nice.
Thanks for having us, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited about this show. The clips are nuts this week, so get excited about that. But yeah, let's jump right into it. Look, there's no shortage of Jaws ripoffs and all that. So we're going to start out this first clip with a movie that just does that. That is, oh man, I'm drawing a blank on the name because it's called The Jaws of Death. There, they even had it in the title. Enjoy.
Come to get Matilda, Mr. Whitney. Stein, you what?
Like a little bit.
You weren't supposed to come until Saturday. I'm going to take her now. I want her to have her babies at home. Wait a minute. What do you got in there? No, you can't believe it.
Right?
She was so young.
This is before there was music accompaniment in movies.
Oh, there goes.
Oh, never mind. Babies!
They were so young.
I am starved for context here.
Someone's got to do those dishes.
Just a trout.
You sharks. You sure don't know about inflation, do you? Here's one with a little bit of an opening, but you'll gobble it up.
Charlie! Charlie!
Yeah.
Where are they? Where are those two?
Hey,
Where are
Doc, listen, these sharks, they're eating up a storm. I don't know what to do about
Look,
it.
I don't care. I don't care. Go find Pete. Go find Charlie. Have them meet me in the front office.
Doc, they're not back yet, Doc.
But they were supposed to be back hours ago.
Doc, you know how those two are. They probably stopped in.
You know those sharks are hungry.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, the clip had everything. I mean, there's drama, there's sadness, there's revenge. It's perfect.
Just
There's
didn't have
even
pacing.
some like, sorry. I was gonna say there's just some like witty comment about inflation and like.
I have to assume that this movie came out after Jaws, because like that was like the cool thing for a while, was to put sharks in your movies, right?
Right,
But
right.
I like how this one was like, okay, so we got to make the next Jaws, but we do not have the budget for an animatronic shark. So the pivotal scene in our movie is going to be around like a dead shark on a slab. Like, make it happen.
Did you notice in the very first scene, like they framed it so the star of the scene was a filing cabinet? It was like 2/3 of the frame.
Oh,
Yeah, I think that's one of those Scorsese tricks that they picked up on.
It's one of his early works.
Yeah. It was very like at the very beginning though. The guy's like trying to cover it up, and it's like no, it's everywhere. There's nothing to block out here. This is absolutely nothing there.
I didn't even notice the door. The bookcase was taking up such like center stage that I didn't even notice that there was the door to the kitchen.
I didn't realize that the guy was a doctor until he said so at the tank. I thought he was like a used car salesman who happened to own the lot or something. That's how he was dressed.
I appreciated the first person shot of like him rushing the guy. Like that was kind of fun. Because up until then I was like, they're not selling me on the drama, but that did it.
And the guy was like in a perfect like way if you wanted to put somebody into a tank, like arms spread out, good leverage, good grip, just toss him right in. Yeah.
Don't do it. 2, 3.
I felt sorry for that poor ladder. I mean, what did it do?
Right.
Thankfully, the comically like funny, smelly bucket of fish was taken off the top before it got knocked over, so that they didn't outstage the violence. The violence.
Sure. Oh boy.
I want to know so much more about this.
Yeah, there is a lot going on. So the main guy, like, he can like communicate with sharks,
Okay.
and yeah. But they were like basically using him to get the sharks there, and it is a very pivotal scene, realizing that he may,
Was he emotionally attached to the dead shark, and that's why he was so sad?
Yeah.
There's actually a scene where he was birthing, like he was there helping the shark give birth to all of the baby sharks, and that's he was so attached. He felt like a paternal,
Shark dad.
yeah.
It was released. I just looked it up. It was released in '77, so it was like 2 years-ish after the whole Jaws craze. And it's rated G, supposedly, which strikes me as odd. Oh, he gets mauled in a pool.
Before
It's for
PG.
kids.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Dissected Pregnant Shark in the 5th grade, so that's G.
There you go.
Science. Yeah, this is the science documentary.
Right, yeah. Oh man.
Oh, Missy, somebody had to do it. We really did drop the ball at all those baby sharks.
It was on a tee for sure. Oh, perfect. Well, yeah, that's how we get down here. Some baby shark action to start us off there. But before we get to our next clip, I'd like to get to know the guests a little bit more with our question of the week. This week's question is, what's like one movie that you may have seen where maybe if they get rid of like the actors, the director, and everything, and just make a remake of that movie, it might be a good movie. Michael, let you go first. What's a bad movie that could be turned good?
So when I think of bad movies, the first movie that I tend to think of is the first movie I ever realized was bad. Because when I was a young child, I just thought that movies were movies and they were all just fine, right? And then one day I learned what objective quality was. And that was the day that I saw The Master of Disguise. And like it hit me. I was like, oh, this is like not good. Like movies can be bad, and this is one of them. Dana Carvey getting to play a bunch of zany characters, like that should be comedic gold because he's hilarious. I feel like you could just totally remake that, and with Dana Carvey now, and just get the right people behind it, the right script, the right director, and just let him do his thing. I think it could be fantastic.
Does he
Shout
still
out to
do
my friend Mark Hershon, who co-wrote the film? So Mark.
Well, maybe.
I'm not saying it's a good movie, but just wanted to give him props.
Maybe it was ahead and behind its time at the same time.
Yep. Interesting point there for sure. Cool. What about you? Bad movie that could be remade good.
I mean, the first thing that came to mind, obviously, was Cats that just came out. But then again, I don't think you can remake it any better than it already is, because it's an absolute classic piece of garbage, and that's all it ever needs to be. I mean, really, it's not even a good musical. It's just cats introducing themselves for 2.5 hours. So we don't really need that. But I would go with Howard the Duck.
Oh, there you go.
Which I loved growing up because I'm a child of the 80s, was raised on HBO, so I've seen it a billion times. But
Right.
they've hinted at it sort of in the MCU, and that like he popped up in the Collector's Collection and the Guardians credits or whatever. So like I think he could have his own standalone MCU film that ties in that would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, my cousin was best boy grip on Cats, so who's feeling embarrassed now?
Hey, you got a gig. Congrats.
Oh, fantastic. And Howard the Duck was also the first time I think anybody saw duck boobs. Like that was like, I don't know, very cutting edge for his time.
Yeah, the birth of that genre. Of the
Right.
duck boob genre.
Right. The world didn't know we needed it, but we got it for sure.
Duck boobs. Ooh.
Anyways, I'm thinking about other things now. Michelle, what is a bad movie that could be turned into a good movie?
Yeah, I thought about this a lot, and I couldn't narrow it down. But I think a really bad movie that like just is not in the zeitgeist at all, as far as like sayings where you're like that saying came from that movie, is Casablanca. That's a bad movie, and if we redid it now, it would be great. And this is not sarcasm. I've never actually seen the movie. I should probably pick a movie that I've seen.
You've never seen it?
Say that it's bad or good.
I did have a friend that in college argued that they didn't like Casablanca because it was, quote, too cliched, unquote, which is like, yeah, it made the cliches.
Right.
So
Yeah. that is a take. That is the takiest take I've heard all week.
That's what college is for. Yeah. So if you're angry, if I made anybody out there feel some type of way about me saying that Casablanca sucks, just know that I've also never seen it. And
you gotta think about that first before taking it in. Well, yeah, unintentional hot take from Michelle. I appreciate it. Well, yeah, all interesting choices there. But we'll keep moving with our next clip. This next clip is really just kind of shows you should stand up to your boss if you're not being treated correctly, because if you do, later on you could be governor of California. Here's a clip from the TV show Streets of San Francisco. it's good.
Hey, Christine! Whoop, whoop. Here he is. This is our guy.
A barrel of laughs.
Joe?
Just a minute.
Joe, could I just see you? Will you stop it for a minute? I want to talk to you.
Is it about being late this morning?
Huh? No. No, it's about your work. Your work is good. I mean, it's great. I've never seen anybody work like that in my life. On the docks, you're the fastest.
Thank you.
No, it's... you don't understand. You're missing the point. The guys are a little upset with your work. You're putting pressure on them with your work.
You're kidding. I make it easy for them. The more I work, the less they have to work.
Let me explain something to you, okay? You're putting the pressure on me, you know what I mean? There's an efficiency experts here. They watch and they figure what goes out, you know? What you can do, we can't do, Joe.
Well, listen, I was hired here to work, right?
Right.
Okay, so.
But see, what I'm thinking is that maybe you would be happy if you found a place where you could work in your own way, you know?
My own way. What you're saying is I'm fired.
What I'm saying is that we have to worry about ourselves. We got our jobs to worry about. The guys, they want to stretch it out a little bit.
Stretch out, stretch out. Are you kidding? Stretch out. I'm here to work.
Will you,
stretch
Joe,
out.
hey, what? Hey, Jesus Christ, take it easy. Will you wait a minute? Hey, Joe. Wait.
And cut. Let's put one on film for real.
Let's reset the barrels, everybody. We got to reset the new angle.
Good casting. He seems like a Joe.
Right.
Well, he seems like a guy who would take a job where he's really excited to just go and like lift things all day. Like Ocean says that you need to take a break every. Nope, just gotta lift these kegs.
Yeah. Oh man, and like his boss like didn't want to fire him because like probably didn't want to pay him unemployment. So it's like, if I kind of hint at it, maybe he doesn't show up. I say he quit. We're fine.
I'll shame him into quitting. Tell him he's such a nerd for actually doing the job. Maybe he'll just never come back.
I think we can all agree, though, that was the Casablanca of barrel work.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so cliche.
Yeah, people would say that the way he carried barrels was so cliche, but it was actually the first. Yeah.
Of all the bottling plants in all of San Francisco, you had to walk into mine.
No, had to walk into that.
Oh man.
I could see Schwarzenegger in a Casablanca remake. That'd be fun.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon.
I'll be back soon.
Bite again, Sam.
Oh, what?
He was like already angry when they called him over. I knew he's like a natural at being angry. I never knew Arnold Schwarzenegger had such range.
Right. Oh man, so wild.
He really did go from like zero to Hulk in one line, though. It was like, I'm fired. Throw a barrel.
Right.
Very Donkey Kong moment.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. Just needed that Mario to take him down. Oh, perfect. Well, we'll keep it moving here with our next. Oh, sorry, Michelle. Michelle, one more thing.
What was the company policy on jumpsuits? Because everybody had a different color jumpsuit. That's not like company policy wide. I'm like,
Right.
I just wanted to bring that up. Like, I didn't see one pair of people wearing the same jumpsuit, and I feel like that we skipped over that, but that's a really important detail of this scene.
That was San Francisco in the 70s.
Right.
It was jumpsuit fever. The Golden State Warriors were originally the Golden State jumpsuits, and then they changed it, like in '81. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, that makes
I think
sense.
there's like old footage of like Rick Barry shooting the underhanded free throw in a jumpsuit for sure. Yeah. Oh, perfect. Well, yeah, let's keep it moving. We'll get to our third clip here. This next clip, it's actually a trailer for a movie that I think the 50s thought was probably like the most dangerous place, which is a women's prison, apparently. This is the trailer for the movie Women's Prison.
What's it about?
Get all the names out of the way. Perfect.
I know these women, all of them. And if you had any real understanding, you'd know what I'm doing to rehabilitate them. Yes, even the psychopath.
You're the psychopath, Amelia. Believe me.
Get out of here. Get out.
Is this like a scared straight kind of thing?
His name is Curbs. We know he's finding angry.
Really in the future.
These are like their housewives taglines. I love it. So good.
So muggy in here, I'm going to get a fresh blouse.
I'll get it for you, Miss Enright.
Thanks, I'll get it myself.
Doesn't it to you that a pregnant girl was beaten? That 2 lives were endangered? If I have to write a death certificate for Joan Burton, I'll give the cause of death as murder. And I'll name you both.
It was very triumphant music at the end.
About what went on. Where? What happened where? At the women's prison.
I'm just glad they gave us the real, raw truth. If they didn't deliver that, I'm not tuning in.
I feel like this is a classic example of like white people getting together in a room and like imagining what would be like the worst thing about like a real situation. It's like, oh yeah, the worst thing about being in prison would obviously be like all of the scandalous murders and the like, and not just like the horrors of the system that put them there, because you have to invent your own oppressor when you're white, you know.
Exactly.
Well, everybody knows the worst part of prison is all the laundry. Ugh, just constantly doing laundry.
And then pressing your hand in the whatever that was.
Yeah.
She was
get
a
out
real,
of something.
She was a loyal lady, so she was covering for her friend and that guy. There was a lot of nuance in that scene.
Yeah, it's like I've obviously heard, you know, snitches get stitches, but non-snitches get burned. That's a new one for me, for sure.
I'm just
also
glad
like
they also had time to stay hot in prison. That's the most important part about being a woman.
Had their standard blouses and T-length skirts that they were all given.
And their coifs.
So,
And, like,
you know, maybe
Ida Lupino, who was like the top star, is actually pretty legit. Like, she was in High Sierra with Bogart. She's directed a bunch of movies and stuff too. So I was kind of surprised to see somebody at the top bill. I was like, oh, okay. And then I went downhill from there. I didn't know the rest.
Okay, yeah. So I'm glad you said that, because I was going to ask, like, they had this whole list of names as if we should, like, I mean, I know this was a very long time ago. Maybe they were big names then. It's like, I feel like if you're gonna list off all these people and give them these individual screens, they gotta be people that are gonna pull your audience in, right?
You think so?
I don't know if, like, I'm assuming those were all, you know, the A-listers of the time. You know, like Humphrey Bogart, who, right?
Then they all got like housewife taglines. That was my favorite. I was getting very excited when they were like the number, like their inmate number, and then a quote from them. Like, let's get to the reunion. I want to hear about all of them.
Where are they
now? The doctor just hates paperwork. He does not want to write a death certificate. It's a lot of I's to dot and T's to cross.
It kills me. Just the first scene is just a person getting slapped. Like that's like, here we go, buckle in, everybody. Oh man, just nuts. Well, yeah, what do we got? Some of the comments there. Even in the big house, there's still kitchen to maintain. Yeah, there you go. Fantastic, Mr. Manwalker, as always. But yeah, we can keep it. Oh, Michelle, did you have something? Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I was kind of like, okay, they just said that there was going to be a riot and everyone's just standing around, like, what is happening? And then I saw, like, somebody ripped a pair of scissors apart and, like, there were people with either side of them. And so I was like, oh, okay, cool. There is actually going to be a violent riot. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure at first.
Right. It's close.
Also, when she like burned her hand on the steam press thingy majiggy, like it would have been like daring to be like, they got into a fight and somebody else put her hand in it and pulled it down. She literally just walked over, set her hand down, put it down, and then was shocked that it hurt.
Never know. You never know how painful that's gonna be, I guess. Oh boy. All right, we'll keep moving here with our next clip. Man, I think we all have our things we're obsessed about or maybe geek out a little bit about, and this next clip it really dives into that. It's from a documentary called Monster Camp: The Eccentric World of Role Playing. A documentary from 2007. So it's going to bring into learn about how to make a nice costume for a role-playing game.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Eventually these break down and you got to build new ones. See, like the latex here, it's coming up. I mean, this sword's pretty cool, a couple years old. I've seen a lot of action. I made most of this. A friend of mine made me these, kind of Viking-style pants. This I got at a Army surplus store. I made all this armor myself. I got these at the Renaissance Festival, I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe more. You know, $5 bum gloves from an Army surplus store. Just cut the fingers off. A Hot Topic shirt. That's probably the most expensive thing on here. $2 nose at House of Humor down in Redwood City.
These are called
Sure,
packets.
I've seen that guy on
They're cloth filled with birdseed. So if I were to hold 3 of these, it would look like there are 3 balls of light in my hand. Now, if I were to have maybe 15, which some people can fit into their hands, I'd have 15 globes of light in my hand.
When I want to call out a spell, I have to call out the spell and then throw the packet and hit the target. I call forth the dragon's breath. And he's dead.
The vials on the back of my shield are potions that we use in-game. They say on them, this is a cure critical wounds potion, this is a cure light wound elixir. Things that remove other effects, whether it's a disease effect or a weakness effect.
I had nothing else to do with my time or my money, so I bought 3 king-size bed sheets from Value Village, 1 white, 1 blue, 1 green, cut them all up into squares, did them all nice into packets. I made about 750 packets. The reason we make them from birdseed is so that if they get left out there, the fabric will simply biodegrade.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Well,
right.
The fabric will bio to what?
The
fabric will bio to what?
That's something there.
I'm impressed. She's got 3 sheet money. I mean, that's tall order.
Yeah.
It looked like there was like a pretty good like thread count too on that sheet for sure. Like that.
Yeah. That's like thousands of pods and potions. You know how rich she is in the like potion black market, probably, with all of those little pods. Probably like very high up there.
Absolutely.
So is this a documentary?
It is. Yeah.
Okay, because I figured that after the first scene, but like when they first started talking, I was like, why is this not filmed like a movie? Like, why are they just sort of talking? But then I figured it out.
It's just breaking the fourth wall, man.
Yeah.
It's very.
I did find that very amusing. I definitely am not going to like knock their hobby because you know what?
Sure.
Honestly, power to them. I wish I was as into anything as much as they are into that. They have their family, they have their community. They seem like they're having a great time out there. Like, I gotta throw respect out to that LARPing community there.
For sure.
Not to mention the like arts and crafts. Those are like skills that are dying. They're dying skills, and they're keeping them alive. Leather baking.
Yeah.
That guy made all of his armor.
Do you think the employees at Joann's Fabrics are like, oh shit, these guys again? Okay, we're not gonna be able to answer your questions.
They're like, is it flame resistant? Like, maybe. What about magic?
Don't know.
I will say though, the guy with the shield, like, I mean, the attention to detail and all these like costumes and stuff was great. And then the guy with the shield was like, oh, these are my potions, and they were like test tubes with like pieces of paper in them with like the words of the potions, I guess. And then his inhaler, because he's got to be safe while he's out there.
The real potion there, yeah.
And have some healing potion for himself, yeah.
Yeah, it got me thinking, especially with the potions, like, so they're having a game, and everybody just has to agree that he has all those potions. Like, that's all, like, it's not just, BS or anything like that. It's like, you're a dead potion now. Yeah.
Like, do you think there's some sort of, like, gentleman's agreement?
Potion.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that kid that was on the playground when you're playing superheroes or whatever, and, like, he always added a new superpower whenever he died. He's like, well, no, because that didn't hit me because I have, like, a fire thing that, like, caught it, and also I have an ice thing over here. Now I'm still fine. like what's stopping the guy with the potions? There must be a gentleman's agreement there.
All of those kids that you are describing are LARPing. So they're all like, oh yeah, that's cool. That's right. And then they just never die and they always play. That's
I thought you were gonna say they're all they're all improvisers.
There you go, right? That one.
They don't know it, but they are. No.
Only like 78% of them are improvisers.
Yeah, it's really just a bad yes and. Like, I guess I got to keep going. I can't get out of this. Oh boy.
I mean, I love how detailed everything is, but sometimes I look at them and I'm like, okay, I have no idea what class this character is. Like, there's so like okay, he's got horns, but also a cape and a weird shield thing. I don't know what it is. Are you an orc? Let me figure it out later. But they're pretty amazing that they do all that time to that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, the craftsmanship and the commitment, you gotta respect that for sure.
Yeah.
Respect that.
And the environmental concerns.
Right.
Yeah.
And to get chosen for a documentary, I mean, whew.
For sure.
What an honor.
It was someone's older brother that started it as like, this is actually a joke on you. And by the end of it, the older brother realized like, this is actually like a really commendable, cool thing to do.
Oh, and then he like finally like respected his brother and this whole I want to know the making of this documentary. Go real
all
go
behind
run
the
that on
scenes
it.
footage.
For sure. Oh, perfect. Well, we can keep it moving here. Get to our last clip. As always, everyone says that dog is a man's best friend. There's only one little caveat to that, and you'll find that here in this clip from the movie Devil Dog.
It's a solid sleeping position. It's my go-to.
That's what peyote does.
Aww.
Oh, that's who's gonna come in the door? Ah.
Put Kendra's comment back up. That dog was in her profile picture.
Oh no! Full circle here.
I looked it up. The film was directed by Whisker Stevens. It's made by a cat. I mean, this is anti-dog propaganda film.
Yeah, Big Cat definitely had their paws in that production for sure.
I loved how the dog, scared the guy. He started screaming. Then it cut to the guy outside in the car. And then there wasn't muffled screams coming from inside the house as the guy ran out. He ran out silently, and then as soon as he got to the door, he began screaming again. I don't know. Obviously that wasn't the headcanon of the writers or whatever, but that's how it appeared to me.
Sure.
It says in the script, there's a stage note that says he screams in the house, and then he's so frightened he thinks he's screaming, but it's silent until he reaches the street and sees another person.
I think we can all agree, though, that it's super dangerous to run into a residential suburban street in the middle of the night because it's always just packed with cars. It's just constantly zooming by,
Single bachelors cruising the streets. Yeah.
Also, I really want to know who the main character of this movie is. Were either of those men, were those both just random guys?
The guy that doesn't hit the other dude. Oh boy, this is really vague. But he's basically picking him up on the ground. He's like a detective, trying to figure this out, what's going on. And I can't remember what the other guy is, how he ties into film. Just gets terrorized with his dog or something like that.
This is the dog off somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly the lead is Devil Dog. I mean, he's the main protagonist. And I bet Rin Tin Tin took the role to kind of reverse his image. He's so lovable and nice, shows his range.
Yeah. It's one of the beginning, that's the Air Bud genre started.
Yeah, and it seemed like a targeted attack too. That dog was it covered a lot of ground to get to that house. And then and it's a literal devil dog. It could have killed all of those guys, the guys in the cars, but it didn't. So that was very targeted at the guy sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a solid point. He covered a lot of ground because there's no houses, there's no reasons for anybody to be driving out there at that time of night.
Exactly.
It was like the transformation into like the devil dog. I've only been to one rave in my life, and it feels like something that I saw there. Like it was not scary, but I don't know. Somebody's having a good time for sure. Yeah.
It was like a Guar concert when it comes down to it. So.
I didn't feel like that.
Just not
I
as
could
messy.
smell the oh my gosh, why am I blinking? The smoke. What's it called?
Oh, the dry ice machine, or yeah.
Yeah, I could
Fog
smell
machine.
it. Brought me back.
That might be the we were talking about. You're Michelle. You're obviously at the comedy spot, but out front is like all the the Fat Tuesday celebrations. So that could just be what's coming in the door there.
I'd love to see how they storyboarded that sequence out. It was like doors swing open, breeze through trees. They show a dog. Then fog comes in. Then the dog's all possessed. He screams. More fog. Dog looks like a monster. He screams again. Cut to street. The end.
Superior dog.
Genius.
That guy was really sweaty before he started even screaming. Like, he needed to have a fan on or not wear long sleeve pajamas. Like, he seemed sweaty. I was concerned for him.
Mm-hmm.
Before the devil dog even got there, I was like, this guy's sleeping on his shoulder. His arm is already asleep. He's going to wake up stiff. And now he's going to have to deal with a devil dog on top of it. He's really not having a good night.
Yeah.
Maybe because he was spread out, like there was usually somebody there, like a dog. Maybe he surrendered devil dog back to the pound, and it was like, and then it ran from the pound all the way there because it was a no-kill shelter, thankfully, and so it got there and had vengeance in the freeway area. There he lives.
If that's not what the movie is, I don't want to see it.
Yeah. And if it's not, let's remake it. Here we go. This is the movie we need to find. Need to remake to make it a good movie, for sure.
Yeah, I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in 2024.
Now, is there an angel dog that fights devil dog? Like that's
Oh.
where it ends up. It's like
That would be
it
great.
has a harp, it floats down. You know, be great.
That's just
Angel-
all dogs go to heaven.
There it is. It's all...
I've seen a movie called Monster Dog. I think it was remarkably similar to this. Only instead of a dog turning into a devil dog, it was Alice Cooper turning into a monster dog.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's like Italian, I think.
Interesting.
I don't know. That exists. That's a real thing.
Probably
Pretty
in the
sure
same
that's,
multiverse.
Jane Campion.
Yes. Right before she did The Power of the Dog.
Yep.
There you go.
Researched.
Fantastic. Well, that is our last clip. But before we go, I'd like to turn back to the panel, see what they've learned from watching these clips. What are they going to take on life's journey from clips like Devil Dog, or the Jaws, Cruel Jaws, the Jaws of Cruel, whatever. I didn't learn the name of the movie even though we watched it. But yes, what did you learn about your time here on the Bad Flick Show? Michelle, I'll have you go first.
Oh, shoot. You know, I learned that I need to figure out my prison tagline sooner than later.
Good call. We'll have to recap, do it a 1 week later and get that. Perfect. Well, Cole, what about you? What did you learn here?
I learned that Casablanca is a bad movie. I need to reassess it, watch it again now through the lens of knowing it's terrible, and see where that takes me. And I have also learned that if you buy a house out in the boonies, it's going to be busy.
Yeah, be careful for sure. Mike, what about you?
I learned how important it is to find your community, whether that is a live-action role-playing community or literally anything else, because I guarantee you that the documentary about your community will not be as cool as a LARPing one.
Fair enough. Absolutely. Yeah. Learning a lot today, for sure. Well, that is our show. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Michelle, Mike, thank you for joining in. Cole, thank you very much for joining us. It was a pleasure having you. I probably should ask this pre-show, but anything you want to plug there? I know we got Sketchfest next January, which is going to be a ton of fun, but anything more recent?
Sure. Yeah, obviously, go check out Sketchfest January 20th to February 5th, I think, 2023. Mark your calendars now. Also, if you're in the Los Angeles area, that's where I reside full-time. I go back and forth, but I'm mostly here. I do a lot of shows at the West Side Comedy Theater in Santa Monica. In fact, I have one in 2 days on the March 3rd at 10 p.m. Pretty Pony. It's a monthly show we do with a guest monologist. This week, it's Gray Delisle, who you may know as a musician and a voice actor. She's been Daphne and Scooby-Doo since 2000. There's a bunch of other stuff too. And so we do that monthly. We have people like Tony Hale and Bobcat Goldthwait, Lorraine Newman, etc. who are our guests. So it's always really fun.
Nice, awesome, for sure. Yeah, check that out. And speaking of Sketchfest, Dana, who runs our tech and is super funny, she's performing with Squad Patrol. In January there with SF Sketchfest. So that should be a fun time. Just go ahead and get the tickets now. Just don't even think about it. Just go ahead. Yeah.
They are on sale still.
Yeah. Well, perfect. Once again, thanks again, everybody, for joining us. We'll catch you next week. See ya.